guys, it's your girl Janice back with another video. I'm going to be telling a story time. It's going to be about the time I lost my virginity, my first time having you know what. So let's just get on into the story. So I had just turned 16. I believe this was in July. I was hanging out with my best friend Kaylin. You have not met her. She lives in Georgia, so if she ever comes in, we can do a video together, or like a story time, like something that happened to me and her, because a lot went down, y'all, a lot. But okay, let's get into this. So it was me and her. It was summertime, so obviously you guys know in the summer you're out of school, you're bored, you're not doing nothing, and we lived in the same neighborhood, so she was at my house. And so I had a little sister. My little sister at this time, like me and her are 6 years apart. She was doing her own thing, like probably playing with the neighborhood kids or something, doing her own thing. She just knew, like, you got to come and check in because I got to make sure you're okay. But me and Kayla were hanging out. I had told her, yeah, I've been talking to this boy. Like, I think I kind of like him. Like, I want to hang out with him. I was like, girl, he older. I'm always talking to somebody older than me. Like, young self, you needed to chill. Even though I'm still young now. But young self, you needed to chill. I needed to chill. And so Caitlin was like, oh, okay. Like, okay, girl, I see you. I had showed him or whatever. And girl, I don't have a type or anything. So it's like, I feel like people I date, they all look different. Like, I don't have like oh, he gotta be this tall. Let me not lie. So I'm not tall. So when I say you have to be taller than me, that's not really fair because I'm 5'3". Every guy is taller than me. Like, so I kind of like tall guys, but I feel like a lot of short girls like tall guys. But I'm going to still say you just got to be taller than me. So I'll date a shorty too, I guess, like me. But anyways, so I don't have a type or anything. So she's like, what does he look like? I showed her. I feel like every guy I've ever talked to, they all look legit different. Like, nobody looks alike. Like, you guys would be like, girl, what do you like? I don't know. Still, I'm 25. I don't know. I just have to, you have to be attracted to me and like our vibe. It just has to be there. So I showed her. She's like, okay. Like, yada, yada, yada. So I'm texting him. And I really wasn't thinking about like if we hang out, if we're going to do it or anything or whatever. Like, that was not on my mind. So she's like, oh, like, what are y'all going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I think he's going to come over because my parents, they were at work. I was being a bad girl. Sorry, guys. But they were at work. And I was like, girl, I don't know. Like, I'm bored. Like, let's see if he'll, like, come hang out with us or whatever. And she's like, okay, cool. And so I'm texting him. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with my friend. Like, we're not doing nothing. You should come over. She's like, I said she. He's like, oh, all right. He's like, well, I'm with my friend. And I was like, oh, like, well, I'm with my friend too. So just bring him. I don't even think I asked Kaylin before. I was just like, oh, his friend's coming too, girl. You got a friend. But yeah, I don't even think I asked her. But she was like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, we did not know what he was going to look like or anything. Like, we just said, sure, come. So at this point, we're waiting for them to get there, whatever. And I'm just like nervous. Like, I hung out with him before, but I don't know. I was 16. Like, first off, I'm so nervous now. Like, if I go on a first date, girl, my mind, my heart, I'm just literally socially weird, which I feel like it's weird because anyone who meets me, they'd be like, oh, you're not weird. You're not shy because you guys, I am shy. If you ask Alexis, my best friend, she'll be like, oh, no, she's not. I really am. I just know how to cover. Like, I put on a good front, like, night and day. Like, I just know how to compose my inner scaredness, to be honest. So I'm sitting there, me and Caleb, we're waiting on him and his friend. And so I'm gonna have to give them nicknames because it's two different dudes who are gonna be in the story. So one is gonna be named T, the other one's gonna be Wheezy. So T is, I guess, my boo, and then Wheezy's gonna be Kaylin's boo. And so T texted me, was like, oh, like, where is it? And I'm like, I gave you the address. Like, let's not start on a bad note here, sir. And he was like, I know, I'm in the neighborhood. He was like, it's not taking me to like which one. And so then I go out like the door. I was like, girl, they're here. And then I go out the door, whatever. And then I'm like, I'm gonna stand outside. He's like, okay. He sees me. And then he comes. He's like, you look good. I'm like, thanks. I'm like nervous, y'all, still. And then I meet his friend or whatever. Like, I heard about his friend, but I never met him. And I'm like, hey, Wheezy. He's like, hi, Janice, and whatever. So they come inside. I introduced Kaylin to Wheezy and T. And, I mean, everything was fine. Like, but I'm going to have to add a little bit of something that Kaylin just told me about before I had told this story. I wanted to make sure it was okay for me to use her real name. But she just brought something to my attention. But I'm going to just add it at the end because I ain't going to be... It's low-key shady, but I ain't trying to be shady. It just was facts back then. Like, it was facts. But, okay. So, she meets Weezy and T. She's like, hey, we're all kicking here, whatever. I don't know if it was me or T was like, oh, like, do you want to go upstairs? It probably was freaking me, knowing myself. And because I was feeling his vibe. Like, we talked, we hung out and stuff before. Like, I was feeling the vibe. So we go upstairs, we're talking or whatever, you know. You guys, we start kissing. And your girl was just like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. At this point, in my mind, I'm just like, I think this is going to happen. I think it's about to go down. And so we're kissing. Some hand movement is going on. Hands is going everywhere. And you're into it. Kayla's downstairs with Wheezy. And I don't even think she thought that anything was going to like go on because that's not what was on my mind. But as we're kissing and touching and all this other stuff, y'all, it goes down. And I feel like for movies, like you're thinking it's going to be so romantic and just so beautiful. First off, your first time is horrible. It hurts. And I would definitely say, ladies, wait until you're like with someone that you really, really like love, not like. I feel like that's one thing that I always regret. Like, we weren't in love. I liked you. I was infatuated by you at the time, but I wish I could go back and change some things about my first time. And I wish I would have waited till I was older too. So that is a very big step, you guys. So make sure it's with the person you want it to be and be selective and take your time, to be honest. So after we did it, I was just like I didn't know what to say. Like, it was so weird. And like, he's older, so this isn't his first time. And so I'm just sitting there like, all right, I think it's time for you to go. Like, literally, I feel like that sounds bad, but literally, I was just like, okay, like, get dressed. And so I'm like, this was weird. Very weird, but I'm trying not to make it weird. So we go back downstairs. Kaylin and Wheezy, they're just talking, whatever. We play, like, I think a game of Connect 4 or something. And then I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, like, I need to tell my best friend what just happened. Like, I need them to leave. And so I was just like, all right, y'all, well, my parents are going to be back home soon, so, like, y'all have to go. So we walk back upstairs. Who's at a basement? We walk back upstairs. They leave. And before I couldn't even tell Kaylin what happened, she was like, bro, they smelled. And y'all, this is what I just was texting her about. They really did. Like, it smelled like they had just came from basketball or something. And I agreed. Like, that was another thing that kind of like ruined my first time. Like, and y'all, when I say like basketball smell, the smell was like embedded in my parents' couch in the basement. Like, when they left, before I could tell her what happened, We had to spray the whole freaking basement, the living freaking room. We was spraying everything because it freaking smelled horrible. Like when I tell you, it was like, that's how I knew doing it probably wasn't on his mind either until it was just me and him. Like, clearly our minds went somewhere else and was just us, but it couldn't have been. Like, if you just got done playing basketball, you know you're not the freshest. Like, that couldn't have been on your mind. It just couldn't have. But I mean, it went down anyway. But I busted out laughing when she said they smelled because I was thinking the same exact thing. And we was talking about that for the longest, trying to spray. Like, no one's been here, it's just us. And we smell fabulous. So my house couldn't smell like stinky boys. So after we sprayed, we was sitting outside or whatever by this little tree. We had like a little rocking chair thing in our neighborhood. And I was like, we did it. She was like, you did it. I said, yes. And she was like, how was it? And I was just like, never do it. Literally. Because it was like painful. Like, it was not what I imagined, like your first time to be. But I mean, obviously that's just your first few times. But I was just like, never do it, girl. Like, just never do it. I felt like the guy off of freaking Mean Girls. Like, basically, if you have sex, you're gonna die. Like, I was like, girl, never do it. Never do it. And she was like, oh my God, was that bad? I was like, girl, don't do it. But that's a quick little story about how I lost my virginity. I didn't want to go into too much details because it's a bit personal, just a tad. But yeah, y'all, that's how your girl lost her first time. And I guess my friend, she didn't do nothing with the boy or whatever, but she, I think, spoke to him for a little bit, but that didn't go nowhere. But yeah, whenever she comes down to Ohio, or if I go back to Georgia, we're going to definitely have to tell some more stories like that's happened like in me and her life because they're interesting. But that's my story about how I lost my V card. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe, and click the notification bell down below. Bye.